so good as breakfast with Christ on the shore. Breakfast will never be better than this, than breakfast with my risen Lord. After an evening of fishing gone bad, Peter and crew felt dismay. Then seeing a man on the shore up ahead changed everything.
Hello and welcome to Come Have Breakfast, our vlogcast. I'm Pastor Colson and I'm joined today with the Zellos. Mike and Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about the ministries that you're involved with?
You want to go or you want me to go? It's been a long journey with Teen Challenge for us, basically our entire lives. And the ministries that we run right now are Men's Home, Men's Farm in Stafford County, Virginia, and then Beauty for Ashes Women's and Children's Home. We work with people that struggle with addiction. They are residential. It's a residential ministry, and so it's full-time, 24/7.
And Teen Challenge is actually a global ministry. And here in the United States, there's a little over 250 centers represented that meet the needs of adolescent boys and girls, and adult women and men, and also family centers. Beauty for Ashes is like one of 10 now here in the United States that helps women specifically who are moms or who are pregnant, who are struggling with addiction. And it's just been our honor and privilege to serve for over 35 years now in the ministry of Teen Challenge, and be part of such a wonderful global ministry that is so successful for people who struggle with addiction.
Now, we've partnered with you for a number of years, and if I remember right, our first connection with Teen Challenge in Fredericksburg was with the farm. We came out and helped with a farm. So how have you seen that relationship between the church and Teen Challenge develop over the past few years?
You can take that one.
Well, I can honestly say it's by far one of the most meaningful relationships that Michael and I have ever had as missionaries, on a personal level and on a ministry level. You came alongside us and supported us when we acquired the Men's Home property, and we had to actually go through a bit of a battle in order to open. And we had a vision for that property, and what seemed in the natural that it would take, it would just take an absolute miracle for us to be able to accomplish everything we needed to while we were in the wait. You guys came alongside us and joined us in the wait without a promise of us even being able to open. You just believed in the vision and the mission. You believed in us, and came alongside us and helped us do things to advance that property and advance the mission long before we were even given permission to operate. So for us, that in itself was a breath of air, like put air in our lungs when we felt like there were times that we couldn't even breathe because of the pressure. And you became family for sure. And that has just extended over the years and spanned over a decade of love and support and encouragement and family with our Men's Home, and then when we were able to move forward with Beauty for Ashes. So, and you continue to be a blessing here at Beauty for Ashes. So it's been an ongoing family relationship that I just stand amazed and dazed by the tremendous fellowship and love with Lake of the Woods Church, and how God has used you. Every individual that has shown up on the property, every individual that prays over us, every individual that has donated, you've made a heavenly impact and a rich deposit in our lives for sure.
If every single church was like Lake of the Woods Church, we would have no needs ever. We would, so thank you.
I think one of the neatest developments is when BFA became a reality and we acquired the property. And there were times when Lake of the Woods showed up with 75 to 100
Yeah.
strong on a given day just to do whatever and
Yeah. anything.
And then just the teams that came every week, individuals and the same teams of the faithful ones. I know that Wes Seaman had a key to the house because he just would come and go, and just Dave Blackstone and Bob Johns. It's just a list of people. And now literally the whole property is maintained by just faithful guys who come, and these guys just show up and they come on property and they, like, in stealth mode, they manage the whole property and then they're gone. And I'm like, what? How that happened? They just came and they left. But I actually love it when the grass starts to grow, because I know they're going to show up.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a beautiful reflection to the women that are here at Beauty for Ashes of what godly men are. And it's just such a beautiful example of just God's love extended and their love extended to the families. And you would think just cutting grass is just, but it goes way deeper than just the tangible.
How have you seen God really bless the ministry and change the ministry since the two of you have been directors?
I think for a long time Cindy wanted to do something for women and children. It was something that had only been done in very, very few places in the country and none on the East Coast. And so I think the biggest thing for us was having morphed into that role in the last 4 years and having our ministry grow and double in size, and then, another property, but also moving into the women and children space and pregnant women. That's how we've physically grown. We got another property, we got another farm, and now it's, there's babies here. It's a different, it's two different, completely different ministries. And so, yeah, we've seen the Lord bless it. We've continued to, seems like we've been growing, we just continue to grow, and God's been good to us. He's been faithful. And I think it's because we have some philosophy, some things we really stick to, especially when it comes to ministry debt and not overextending yourself and running out and expecting God to bless what you're doing. Just letting the Lord provide in that. And so, yeah, we've been in this really unique position where God has blessed our ministry. And by us, the blessing has to be defined as the people that we serve and the lives that have permanently been changed. And that's what it's all about for us. Yeah. We're gonna need to be ready. There's the numbers are already coming out nationally, and what is about to happen in our country is going to be a tidal wave of hurt and pain and people crying out. Alcohol use is up 843%. Alcohol sales 843% since March 15th nationally. And so Sam's starting to put out all these stats and all these things in the last couple of days, and domestic abuse is up, domestic violence is up. Across the board, and in states where marijuana is legal, stores have sold out for the first time ever in history. So people are looking toward, 30 million people are unemployed, people are bored, and they're looking toward vices. And unfortunately in this season, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to fall into the trap of addiction, especially alcohol abuse. So yeah, we're all being prepped. We had a national meeting yesterday where once again, it was reiterated by our leaders. We're about ready to see a tidal wave of people struggling. And we're going to have to try to learn how to cope with that with COVID. So yeah, that's where we are.
Boy, that's mind-boggling, isn't it? The numbers that are coming out.
Yeah, they're shocking. It's shocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So could you share a testimony or a story that you feel comfortable sharing with our viewers that might encourage them and just help them to see what God is doing in your ministry?
Well, I was kind of thinking about this, and while I was sitting here, I really would like to focus on 6 women, but I'm not going to share each of their stories, but 6 women who chose life. I'm going to cry. they've all chosen life when they made the decision to come here, but these particular 6 women chose not to abort their unborn child. They chose life over that, and in the midst of deep despair and the worst hopelessness that a human being can feel and go through. And they chose to make this call, and it worked out for them to come here to Beauty for Ashes. And we went through pregnancy, labor and delivery, and then an infant in the home, and teaching these women how to take care of a little one and grow that little one and look forward to their future with great hope, and change the destiny of both their lives and the life of that child. All of these women had other children before, another child, or they had had an abortion, or so it's very it's been a beautiful journey for each 6 of them, to choose life, to give birth, to have that baby. And all of those children are doing so good, and so are moms. So it has gotten them through the thick and the thin, and the majority of those women have been able to get their other children back. So because they chose life and chose this journey, it set a precedent for them to be able to live the kind of life that would allow their other children back. So it's been beautiful. One in particular, she came to us, and her I can't go into detail because it's confidential, but she should have not have made it here, and she went through pregnancy, and God completely changed her life. She finally surrendered to him and to the love, the perfect love of God. And when she started to cooperate with that, everything else started to shift, and the supernatural took place in her life. She gave birth, and before they moved, her little girl was almost a year old, and I want to give you an update on them. She only had one more course to take, one more class to take for her BS in political science. She accomplished that, and she has a job in a legal office now in the state that she's living in. And she is slowly being reunited to her other child. And I asked her the other day, we talk every week, and I said, how are you doing with your sobriety? And I don't usually say those words to our graduates, but I just felt compelled to. And she said, Pastor Cindy, she said, I have not had even the smallest desire to turn back to anything to medicate my life in any way, shape, or form. She said, even on my hardest days, my hardest day is better than my worst day from before. And she just said flat out, she said, I didn't know life like this existed. And if it wasn't for Beauty for Ashes, I would not, my daughter would not be alive, and I would not be alive. I would have taken my life. So it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, her shattered, broken life, God just birthed something very beautiful. And these girls amaze me. They just amaze me. And she's definitely a daughter in the Lord, that's for sure. But
so briefly, we have one of the things that is really cool about our ministry is we have 3 board members, legal board members that are graduates, and 2 own their own companies, and 1 is a full-time evangelist. All are 25 years clean. And so that's just some kind of little neat nugget we let people know. So it's not just about getting right now. It's about longevity. It's about learning a new life. So
can I just add to that, just to reaffirm what Michael just said? Every single one of our residents at some point in time will say to us, I thought I was coming here just to get off drugs.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So that's where he's referring to. Really, they really, and we care about that, but we know that God has way more in store for them. So that's where, and I came here to get off drugs, and I ended up leaving hooked on Jesus.